What's good, Melanin Warriors? I know they are taking away things like CRT, but no worries. The Melanin Warriorz Podcast got you. I'm going to continue to break down history, the truth, and everything in between with no filters and no sugarcoating. Today, we're tackling a topic that really cuts deep, and I know a lot of people might be offended or upset or hurt by this or whatever, but we're talking about Christianity and slavery. So, how did a religion built on love and salvation get twisted into a tool of control, justifying the kidnapping, torture, and murder of millions? How did the Bible become a weapon of oppression? And how did Black folks flip it into a tool of resistance? We're getting into the gory details today, y'all. So if you're sensitive, this might not be an episode for you. But if you're ready to face the truth and unpack the history, grab your seat because it's about to get real. Let's get it, man. Let's go.
Stand for something, you gonna fall for anything. Melanin Warriors. Let's go. M-E-L-A-N-I-N. Warriors. M-E-L-A-N-I-N. Warriors. M-E-L-A-N-I-N. Warriors. M-E-L-A-N-I-N. Melanin Warriors. Melanin Warriors. I shade all my kings and queens. Melanin Warriors. Either you stand for something or fall for anything.
All right, y'all. So let's be clear. Enslavement wasn't just about physical chains. It was also about the mind. And the Bible was one of the biggest chains they used. When European slave traders and plantation owners started snatching up Africans, they needed a justification. They needed a reason to make this evil look like it was God's will. So what did they do? They flipped the Bible on them. They found verses to make it seem like slavery was divinely ordained. Certain verses like Ephesians 6:5, where they say, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear, just as you would obey Christ. Colossians 3:22, slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything. And Titus 2:9, teach slaves to be subject to their master in everything, to try to please them, not to talk back to them. All these were verses in the Bible, guys. I've read the Bible thoroughly. If you don't believe me, go look it up yourself. This was weaponized Christianity. They told our ancestors, obey your master and you'll get to heaven. Meanwhile, they were whipping, raping, and torturing them in the name of Jesus. But let's go even deeper, because this wasn't just about control. It was about breaking the African spirit. Africans had rich spiritual traditions like Vodun, Yoruba, and Kemetic beliefs, which I happen to believe in, but those were labeled devil worship. Our languages, our rituals, even our names were erased. We were forced to accept the whitewashed version of Christianity, and if we refused, we suffered. And just real quick, man, on that, like I said, our names were erased. I know we all take pride in our last names. Hell, I even do myself. But our last names basically came from our slave masters, and that's where all our last names came from. If you have a last name Johnson, Jackson, Fowler, anything like that, yeah, there was a slave master somewhere with that name at one point. So let's talk about the brutality. This wasn't just about working plantations. Christianity was used to justify pure evil. If you didn't submit, they would make sure you did. Let me hit you with some real history, man. We're going to talk about some of these brutal methods that you won't hear in school books today, man. You probably won't hear it at all other than the Melanin Warriorz podcast. So let's go into it. The first one I want to talk about is the whipping tree. So with the whipping tree, enslaved people were stripped, tied to trees, and whipped until their backs were nothing but raw flesh. All the while, the plantation preacher read Bible verses about discipline and obedience. The mouth bridle. Slaves who spoke African languages or practiced traditional religions had metal gags forced into their mouths, sometimes spiked to keep them from speaking. The hot box and the crucifixions. Some were locked in iron boxes under the blazing sun for days, left to cook alive. Others were crucified upside down as a form of punishment. Rape and slave breeding farms is the next one. Many enslaved women were forced to have children to increase the property of their masters. So those were just some of the brutal things that was done to our ancestors back in that time, y'all. And if it wasn't enough, they gave us a whitewashed Jesus, blue eyes, pale skin, and golden hair, an image that looked just like the slave masters. So tell me, how do you worship the same face that's whipping your back? This was psychological warfare. This was a system built to break us. But here's the thing, it didn't work, y'all, because they didn't expect we would flip the script on. They thought Christianity would keep us obedient, but instead it made the fuel for revolution. The Black church became the headquarters of resistance. The same Bible that was used to enslave us, we found different verses We found liberation in the story of Moses freeing the Israelites. We found strength in Jesus flipping tables in the temple. We turned Christianity into a weapon of rebellion. And just a few people who use the Bible and the Christian ways as a weapon. We're gonna talk about Nat Turner. If y'all seen Birth of a Nation, excellent movie. Nat Turner, a preacher who led a bloody rebellion, killing over 50 slave owners and sending shockwaves throughout the South. Then you got Harriet Tubman, of course, a deeply religious woman who claimed God spoke to her, guiding her to free hundreds through the Underground Railroad. And you got people like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, who both shaped by faith, one through Christianity and the other through Islam, to fight for Black liberation. See, y'all, they thought religion would keep us passive back in these times, but instead it sparked revolutions. The Black church gave birth to the civil rights movement. But now we got to ask the hard question: is Christianity still holding us back today? And I just want to put that out there. I don't knock anybody who believes in whatever you believe in, whatever higher power, whatever spirits, whatever ancestors, whatever you believe in, that is your business. You know what I mean? I still respect and I support it, because, you know, there are some really devout Christians out there who really go by the book, who do everything by the book, who live their life righteously, man. So shout out to all y'all. Everybody else who just use it and then are basically hypocrites, whatever for y'all. We've been taught for centuries that Christianity is the only path to salvation, but is that true, or is that just programming? Does Christianity still promote a slave mentality in the Black community? Should Black people return to African spirituality like Voodoo, Yoruba, or Kemetic beliefs, which a lot of my people are starting to, including myself? Is Christianity really ours, or is it something that was forced onto us? Now, those are not questions I'm going to answer. When you guys watch this video, I want you to really take a deep dive and really think about these questions right here. And, you know, put some in the comment, man. Tell me what y'all think. But, you know, that's pretty much a wrap, guys, on this episode. You know what I'm saying? We came with the raw truth, but I know y'all want it. So that's pretty much it, man, as I talk about, you know, the effects of Christianity and slavery in our people, man. So y'all go ahead and hit them comments if y'all got, you know, y'all own comments. So y'all have answers to those questions I asked. You know, do you believe Christianity is still a form of mental slavery on our people, or have we truly made it our own? Y'all go ahead and like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, my people, Hotep, I shake.
Stand for something, you gon' fall for anything. Melanin Warriors. Let's go. M-E-L-A-N-I-N Warriors.